Those 12-step programs, pioneered by Alcoholics Anonymous, now seem to cover any addiction one can imagine. This afternoon, we typed 12-step program into an internet search engine. The computer churned out hundreds of listings, everything from alcoholics to spendaholics to webaholics anonymous. The 12-step concept grew out of an evangelical movement in the 1920s and 30s. It applied religious traditions such as confession, restitution, and prayer to help people in their daily lives. Those principles, in turn, were adopted and refined by the founders of the group that came to be called Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, of course, those 12 steps have been applied to all kinds of human frailties, including some fairly frivolous ones. But one serious experiment in California certainly deserves watching. In a prison housing some of the state's most vicious criminals, a convicted murderer has set up a 12-step program for gang members, including his own son. The idea is that crime and gang membership can also be seen and treated as addictions. ABC News correspondent Judy Muller obtained exclusive and unprecedented access to the prison, the program, and the father, who is on a mission to set his own son straight.
In Los Angeles last year, gang violence took the lives of 259 people, and that number only hints at the problem. Police say there are some 400 gangs operating in this city, with more than 48,000 members. Father Gregory Boyle, who has buried hundreds of gang members over the years, knows how hard it is to break that deadly allegiance.
And you ask them, knowing what you know and knowing what the consequences will be of being here, why are you here? And they'll pause and they'll always say, well, I guess I'm just addicted.
But what if that addiction could be broken? This story is about a man who is devoting his life to that idea.
He's an extraordinary man, among perhaps the holiest human beings I've ever met.
That man lives here at Mule Creek State Prison near Sacramento. I'm Judy Muller.
I've heard about you.
Richard Mexico is serving a life sentence for murder.
My name is Richard. You guys all know me. What we're doing here today is important. You guys all know that criminals and gang members are the oldest addicts in this world. They were the first. But yet CGA is the first 12-step recovery program to provide help for them to change.
CGA stands for Criminals and Gang Members Anonymous. Mexico, an ex-gang member from East LA, founded the group after he realized he could not let go of his violent gang lifestyle.
And I was going away from my alcohol problem, but when I was on the yard, something was still wrong with me. I could see people that were enemies on the street, and something would turn on in my head and I couldn't get it out.
Here in prison?
Yes, that same obsession would return and wanting to act.
Gang banging runs in the Mexico family. Richard has several relatives who've been killed or imprisoned, including his son Steve, now serving 16 to life for murder. And when did your son come here?
Steve got here maybe a couple of years ago now.
And this
is my home.
This is your home?
Yeah.
Tight?
Yes.
Wow. Whoa. Very tight for two people. Father and son share the same cell. How hard was it watching him walk into this prison?
Very painful. It's like sitting on a cloud the whole time saying, watch out, I know what's happening to you. I know what you're getting ready to do. I know the influences all around you. But I couldn't stop it.
Powerless to stop it.
Powerless.
Nor could Steve stop himself. He says the ties to the gang were too strong.
I told myself that I was going to change when I had my first son, but it's so powerful I didn't. I told myself the first time I got arrested that I was going to change, and I didn't change. I told myself after I got arrested for murder that I was going to change. I didn't change. I got out again. I got busted again for murder, you know, and I don't know if I was going to change, but I kept putting it off and putting it off, and eventually I ran out of time.
Martha Mexico, Steve's mother and Richard's wife, has been left with two younger boys to raise alone. She says it might sound odd, but she feels blessed to have both her husband and son safe in jail.
When you're looking at the lifestyle addiction and the choices you have when you're in a gang, you either have prison or a cemetery. So when you look at the two, I am blessed. They have a chance to change. They have a chance to do things differently.
16-year-old Peter Mexico hates what the gang life has done to his family.
Destruction. It's all it caused was destruction to our family and pain and hurt, sorrow.
But he is proud of his father's efforts to heal that hurt.
I love that man and respect him. And because of what he's done today and how he's helped so many people, I love him even more for that. And I respect him as a person even more for that. Because being in prison, as long as he is, he could have just given up hope. And he hasn't.
In fact, he is now giving out hope.
We're not monsters. We're not throwaways. We're people with problems, and now we're dealing with those problems.
But these are not your ordinary problems, and dealing with them requires taking some very big steps. 12 of them, to be exact.